Okay, go ahead.
Welcome to Isn't It Obvious? I'm your host, Philip. Joining me today is Micah and Sera. And
He's trying to host.
isn't it obvious that there are going to be a lot of businesses that are going to be fake? Like Amazon reviews, many of them are fake. But I believe, and this I'm predicting this. I'm not saying it well, but I'm going to predict it. That there are going to be fake real businesses hiring people just for fake experience that they're going to go to real companies and apply for. So I'll give you an example for why this makes sense.
Oh, I think I'm seeing it. Go ahead, though.
So I'm going to start a company called IIO LLC. And I'm going to pretend I'm an engineering firm that's a consultant. I'm going to hire a bunch of people that are just straight out of school, that are engineering degrees, but they can't get a real job because no one gives them experience, because you need at least 5 years of experience to have an entry-level job, which would be 0 years of experience, but no one wants to hire them. So all I would do as this company is that they wouldn't do any real work, and I'm not going to give them any money. And all we do is just say that in this job, IIO LLC, that you guys were associate engineers and you were doing everything that other resumes say. And then we would just watch YouTube videos about what people really do, because you could probably learn the job in 2 weeks about what it really is. And then that's pretty much it. So then they would say that they've been there for a year. I'm not making this is all just charity, just so people can get the fuck out of entry level trap.
And their
yes, but
parents' basements.
Yeah.
This is not a reality show. You just made a sitcom.
Well, basically, this is going to fund all of the people we need to be able to make the reality TV shows that we want. So, you need psychologist students? We can get freshly graduated, people with psychology degrees in this town that have experience, and they're going to be on our...
They did a 3-month residency.
Well, basically...
Literal residency in Scrotumberg or whatever.
Well, the Greater Scrotumberg metropolitan area.
Whatever.
Okay. An example of this is that for the previous episode,
or Gizma, if you want to.
This is why I'm saying it's going to dovetail in. You could probably make a pilot of a show where we go to a house, an acquaintance house that we all know, but we don't know. So a friend of a friend that they're willing to put up with us, and we're like, man, we really just need labor. We just need people to kind of set this up and do things with. It's like, well, we have perhaps a glut of students, people that recently graduated with degrees, but they can't get in their field because the whole capitalistic bullshit of having a 5-year experience and right off the bat is total farce, especially if you didn't get internships, which are only rewarded people who have the money to do so, to take time off and do it.
Honestly, I don't think people are having the same struggle now that we did when we graduated.
I think that...
I think because of the labor shortage, people are getting hired a lot faster now.
But that's not with... specialized industries aren't begging for people. It's McDonald's that are begging for people.
That's true.
Right.
It's the service industry. It's the things that people don't want to do that were meant to be like a resume builder. You could bullshit yep, I learned team building and time management with my 2 years at McDonald's while I was in college.
It doesn't
but
count.
that doesn't happen anymore. Well, yeah, not for engineering.
Well,
but you can bullshit that on a resume.
But
me being a logistics delivery official, working for DHL, I can bullshit that on a resume.
Right.
But that gives me logistics experience because that's the umbrella it falls under.
I think for specialized fields of people where they want to break into, I always thought that why don't they just make a fake real company where they just go ahead and say, yes, I'm an associate engineering specialist.
What if instead of making a fake real company, you make an Uber for engineers?
Well,
where you just lease out engineers for a time to work at firms that are shorthanded or need something.
Well, it doesn't.
Wait, is that a business?
It's basically.
Can we Uber engineers?
You could basically do consulting work and just have them
real cheap consulting work.
Well, yeah, because basically they're... How do I say this nicely?
Don't.
You can have CAD worker bees that do computer-assisted design. And I could have a company called IO LLC, and all I do is 3D rapid printing. But I don't want to spend the time to do it. I'll just hire people that are just right out of college, and then they can make it for me, and I could just go ahead and sell that. And then they could say on their resume that they work for IO LLC, and then they actually have CAD experience, and then they can go off to the next best thing.
So would that be better than a fraudulent company?
Well, no, because I actually don't want to really sell anything, because that actually takes work.
But why not sell something that then we have as ads for the other shows we've made?
No. So this is how this is going to work.
Just vertical integration.
Well, yes. Yeah, okay, vertical integration. This is how my brain is working with the limited amount of resources we have. So I pick on engineering because it's something easy for me to do, because I kind of understand the bullshit that it is. Right now I'm looking at some candidates for a job that's not in my department, but somebody that asked me for my opinion. And so I'm looking at these resumes and I'm like, shit, they're better than mine. And I'm like, where did you get all these experiences from? And I'm looking up the names and I'm like, oh, it's the Acme, XYZ company. I'm never going to fucking look them up. Like, even on this podcast, knowing what that is, I still don't have the energy to take my time to type it in the website. And even if I do, I would be like, oh, they sell widgets. Okay, whatever.
Well, in theory, that's what your HR department is supposed to be looking into and verifying and double checking. But I don't feel like a lot of them probably do their full job. Some do, but
HR will only check for degrees, as far as I understand, in the company that I work with. That's like the one thing they don't want to check.
They don't call like references or like call previous employers.
Well, I don't
to make sure and verify that they work there.
Not that I know of.
Like,
can I be an engineer?
Well, that's the joke of it. Is that like?
Because I know my mother worked in HR, and like they would call, like there were certain questions you can't ask, but you can verify, like, hey, did so and so work here?
Yep, and we could say,
and you would say yes, and you would say yes
or
no, and that would say, well, okay, well, if they lied on their resume, we're not keeping.
Well, no, that's the thing. They would really work for my fake real company. They would work as associate engineer level 1. And all they would do is that they would...
3M calls you, you'd say, Jack Smith worked for
Jack Smith did, and here his...
And so you would have to do some work on your end to make sure you have the record.
Right, of course. I'm an ISO 9001 company.
Yeah.
You can just get that like for
why not $2. Do like mass shit 3D printing? Making...
Well, because they have to find a customer and sell it and ship it. No, like...
They just do shit on Amazon.
Yeah.
No, this is just a paper company. Like, first of all, the people that are...
you don't have enough money to make a paper company.
Well, no, not like a real company that makes paper. But also, I do, because it's like $10. But
you don't have enough money to make a fake company.
Yeah,
that's just a company on paper.
You guys are completely off base. I have everyone in this room and the cats in this room have enough money to make a fake company. It costs like $100 to get like an LLC.
Yeah.
And then like I think in Germany it's like half that for a
D&D. But then the time in
to
cover your bases for if any HR company does call you. You need to have at least some answers. You can't just have like an automated response. Yes, you have reached Acme, IIO LCC, LLC, whatever it is, acronyms.
Yeah, just say, look at my email.
The person you are inquiring did indeed work here,
right.
And they were satisfactory in their job. Thank you.
I don't have to say shit. I'm like, what are you doing poaching my workers, you son of a bitch? It's like, well, I thought that they're like, no, stop stealing my very valuable employee, assholes. Don't you have other...
But that still means you need to be answering the phone.
And then hang up. Yeah, that will be me.
You know what?
I can answer that phone.
You know what?
And it won't even be me. Actually, it would just be like a preset AI. And I wouldn't even have to do it. I would just hire a guy from the computer science engineering department to be like, hey, program this for me, and now you're my lead programmer. So, and I wouldn't give him money, he wouldn't give me money, but on my record on his W-2, which would be $0.
But then you'd also have your company run a
real fake company.
Your real fake company would run a real, not fake charity.
Yes.
That would basically people who get a job after working for your real fake company could donate to.
No. That's a different level of illegality.
No. This is stage 2. So stage 1 is
stage 2 is you just made Trump University, and that's illegal.
No, guys.
That's exactly what this is.
You're giving authority, and you're creating a charitable organization that is meant to enrich you.
This is
based on your fraudulent activity that you are giving people.
First of all, this company will never make a fucking dime. It's
darn. I was hoping you were really going to go in for the whole, like, real embezzling charitable funds just bullshit.
When I say charity, I mean like that in the real case, not the rich people.
You can make a written contract, much like an acting contract with these inexperienced engineers, where after they receive a salary job, they owe you a tithe for like 2 months.
Nothing. No, this is
something you gotta pay for your phone.
No.
You gotta pay for your time talking to people from Acme XYZ.
You guys are all looking at it like too short-sighted because you didn't even hear my phase 2, which is diabolical.
Okay.
So phase 1 is just getting people to join my real fake company.
Oh god, you're gonna be a cult, aren't you?
And then I'm gonna have people like, oh shit, like HR keeps calling me, and I'm running out of curse words because all I have to tell them is that yes, you do work for me, and I have to look like paperwork to prove it. It's just 1 page long, but that's fine. And I know enough about like being an ISO 9001 company, which is basically bullshit, to be like, yep, that's what we are. Like I can make a fountain of stupid flowcharts. So I feel like Skippy. But the real problem...
What's your phase 2 then?
Phase 2 is like, okay, I don't just need engineers because they're kind of boring. What I really want is to make a pilot of all our fucking crazy ideas here. Okay, let's try to, like, the last one, homology. Like, we could do a simple YouTube of it, right? No one's going to watch it, but that's not the point. The point is that we actually get to do this. But I don't want to do a lot of the grunt work, so I don't need engineers. I need people like, I don't know, a manager of some kind, like a program manager or project manager that can get the timetables right. And I need some psychology major, like recently graduated ones to fill in that slot. And there's like
internships,
but they're not internships. They're actually actually not paying jobs. They're just doing this so that they can pretend they work for IIO LLC. And then they can say they're associate psychologists to be able to run this show, and then they still work at their they still work at their Starbucks or Caribou, and then I still can use their brain for what I need it. What they get out of it is that they work for my LLC, and that they could say that they did. The computer programmer person would say like, hey, I programmed this so you just press a button and I can curse off the people that are trying to steal my guys. They're going to sound legit because legally I don't have to tell them shit. So if HR calls from another company and says, does this guy work here? I say, fuck you, yes. Stop trying to poach my valuable worker. Boom. I don't have to do that. Just automated.
Yep.
That's phase 1.
No, that was phase 2.
Nope. Phase 1 is collecting the brains.
I have a slight addendum to phase 1.
Okay.
We're not IAO LLC. We are IAO Productions.
Yep.
Affiliated with PGE LCC, which PGE is postgrad experience.
Yes. Okay, you got onto my phase 2 right away.
PGE is us accumulating anyone who needs credentials.
Yep.
That they help IAO Productions.
Yep.
Through PGE. And then PGE gets them their experience.
Yep.
And then we can still potentially turn a profit just because we monetize shit on YouTube.
Well, this is all just for us having a hilarious time of doing shit that we couldn't do just on our own.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I
don't want people
You don't have to do that much to be viable on YouTube.
Exactly. But the hilarious part about it is if you put a name to a company and we're doing this as a mission statement, which is just have fucking fun. I don't care how much money I'm spending as long as it's less than $50 a month. What you could possibly do on a fake real company, because everyone is just doing random shit for no reason other than for us to enjoy our crazy harebrained schemed ideas that we don't have energy to execute, but these people do because they're young. And they also feel like I want some experience, and I know enough jobs to be like, well, you need to have soft skills and program skills, and you can actually say that for PGE, for IO Productions, that you did actually run the show as a showrunner, and that required all of this shit on a $0 budget because you also work at Caribou. Mm-hmm. But at least you could say that you worked at Caribou and this company, which is sounds a lot more legit. Mm-hmm. So that's phase 1.
Quick legal question to your understanding. So if you have PGE to get the brain trust, and IO Productions are us doing our fun things, can we then hire PGE to be our consultants and make that.
Yes, of course. I mean, obviously that's phase 5, but yes, you're right.
All right,
You can actually make this, circular. Again, the whole idea is that
that's how Hollywood works.
The snake that eats itself.
Yeah,
the Ouroboros.
Or the Ouroboros Network.
The Ouroboros Network. And so
sounds evil.
Okay, the whole thing is evil, but it's we're judoing the stupid bullshit courtocracy rules that no one could play because everyone needs stupid XP points that are completely arbitrary. Because the only reason why, and this is my honest truth, I don't need someone who's a good engineer to do my job. I just need someone who's not an asshole.
Yep.
That's it, and that's the one question that I cannot ask is, are you an asshole? Because everyone else I can work with, and the other one is.
Oh God! If the three of us are HR, though, we can probably filter out assholes.
I need two. I need two qualifications. You're not an asshole, and you're competent.
Well, that's the other thing. If they're not competent, that they're like, look, this isn't working.
Well, at our fake real company, it doesn't really matter.
Is there a difference between assholishness and competency? I don't think there is.
Yeah.
Some people are really nice, but are
because
really...
asshole definitely infringes on competency.
It does.
That's why they're different. They're different. They're not the same thing. That's what you're saying, right?
No, one infringes. If you're an asshole incompetent, that's still bad as if you were incompetent and not an asshole. Not an asshole and incompetent is better than competent asshole.
Yes,
I would
absolutely.
agree. I would agree there because yes, I've had both, and
you know me
as a coworker, not you. I mean, you're an asshole and you're competent,
but you're not the person I'm talking about.
But you're not the person who's like really an asshole. Yeah, anyway.
The system irons itself out because people who usually get through a 4-year degree are normally competent enough to handle any bullshit job that back in the day was not
Temporary bullshit job
that you didn't even need a middle school education for like 50 years ago. But for some reason, there's an education inflation and now you have to have some bullshit 4-year degree to do something that, electric lineman could do. With nothing.
How do we deal with audits if we were ever to be audited as a company?
Oh yeah, it's simple. We don't make any money.
Yeah, no profits.
We don't pay. We don't pay anyone any money, and we don't make.
They get
money.
Experience, sure,
and they get experience. Like I think the problem is if the company says, "Where's our W-2?" I'm like, that's not the type of arrangement that this company makes with our contractors.
There's no income. There's no.
But they are. I wouldn't say employed.
Is it hard to get
but they are associated with this company, right? Or, it's like, I don't know how you could say that they're employed without giving a W-2, but I'm sure there's a loophole.
No, if they're independent contractors, they're 1099s.
Yeah,
there you go.
If you don't have to report it if it's under 1,000.
Yeah. Yep. There you go. So
it's still experience. They're...
we give them their 1099 and it has $0 on it. There you go.
For now, it's illegal for HR to say, how much do you make and give these to W-2. Mm-hmm. Like, you can make... That's something that they cannot do at other companies. So we're good there.
Okay.
So audit, we don't make any money, so that's perfectly fine. What's in it for us? We could do bullshit harebrained idea schemes that we come up with this and actually make an episode on YouTube.
Hilarious entertainment.
PGE is our charitable arm.
Yes.
And IAO is our
hobby arm
of the work PGE does for us when we hire out PGE.
Yes.
For zero money.
Yes. I mean, this whole idea is for us to have a great time in this limited life, doing bullshit things we couldn't get away with without the help of people who actually kind of want to scam the corporatocracy system that's scamming us already. Right, so technically, we're not scamming them; they're scamming us. We're just breaking even.
Can we stop the recording for 2 seconds?
No.
We're stopping the recording for 2 seconds. Just 1 moment. All right, that was a great talk. So we're gonna go ahead and just say. That's phase 1. Any questions so far?
No, I still want to hear phase 2. Let's actually let Phil finish his phase 2. God damn it.
I mean, no questions? No? All right. You guys have questions?
I'm drawing blood. Talk quick.
Phil, what's
phase 2? So once our people get out, right? So like we have psychologists and they get out because they used us. We have program managers or whatever other people. What all the disciplines we would need to make
us. We helped guide them.
We partner with them and our charity for them to get valuable experience.
We took the risk on young talent.
Yep. And the idea is that, hey, don't fucking rat us out, right? Because this would hurt you, because you're in this now. We're both understand that if you rat me, it looks really bad on you.
Yeah.
So, it's what it is, right?
Have the confidence that we're not a Ponzi scheme or organized crime, but still not legal.
Well, no, everything here I say
see
is
nothing
legal.
wrong anyway,
I am just using the system against itself.
Yes.
It's nothing wrong here.
Ouroboros Corporation.
It's an Ouroboros Corporation, and
that's a corporation.
It is completely fine. The only
corporate
problem
headquarters in West Testytown
is that we make $0 fucking dollars. But that's okay for us because we're just okay. So
the profit isn't our goal.
So phase 2 is that if this works, people eventually will leave us, so we can hire more charity cases. And by hire, I mean they volunteer, and we give them a 1099.
Oh man, the networking.
Bingo!
Yep.
Networking is now the psychologists are out there and grabbing new ones in, and now phase 2 really kicks it up a notch. So for the engineering people, we send them out like zombies, and they're like, "Hey, you work at 3M, so what skills do you think they actually do there?" And like, "Oh, well, at Land O'Lakes or Cargill or whatever, Honeywell or whatever, you throw a stick at something, you're gonna hit somewhere." Like these are like the things you probably need to know as far as systems. Like, any reasonable person could probably learn that in 2 weeks, right?
Yep.
So you don't have to tell us your state secrets, but why don't you just tell them really suggestively, like what you actually need to do to get hired as an engineer, and then we'll just keep that in our back pocket so that when we do more bullshit jobs for IO Productions, we will add those elements there, and then they can say, "Oh yeah, we did that and this." Like one of my keystone projects as an associate engineer was to enact a 3D printing rig because someone wanted a baby doll arm that looked realistic, and we're like, "Okay, cool." And then they just move on and they can talk about all the stuff they did there for quality control, materials, R&D, statistics, and that's
corporate catering.
Corporate catering.
And then...
and that's just, yeah.
Well, and then we, now that we have our little feelers out in the world with real jobs, we can say, hey, we have another, engineer
Exactly.
who needs a job.
We have another promising PGE associate.
Yep.
Yes. And you should take a look at their resume and or submit their resume to your HR department, and maybe they can find a
As
good
you
place
see, they have
in
a
your
4-year
company.
degree at Dartmouth with a 2-year rebuttal at Xavier.
No, and some very good experience at PGE.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then that's phase 2. So we send out our drones out. We don't ask for any fucking money because it's all just for jokes and for fun, to fund our hobbies, to go into people's houses, or other harebrained schemes we're going to come up with later that we could probably just do on YouTube.
Weird frat house.
No.
But anyway, go ahead.
PGE has a cornerstone of a diverse professional aptitude acceptance.
Yeah, basically, we don't work with assholes.
Mm-hmm.
So that eliminates everyone from the frat community.
I'm pretty sure that's just our
No, I mean,
mission
the
statement.
way we network, though, is going to be very frat-like.
Oh, no, yeah, that's absolutely correct, yes.
You're a PGE, you're a PGE...
No. We're
hired as well, I see.
We're very Mason-like?
Yeah.
Ah,
So,
Yeah.
again,
shit, that's
Secret
fraternity.
society.
Damn it.
so we're not...
I just want something that's more inclusive.
All right. Well, either way, we're just gonna send as our scheme works, and again, totally legal, totally cool. The idea is that our real fake company is real on paper, and who would know? And they actually are getting experience in the bullshit things that we're doing, and it's better than working at McDonald's for them to be able to get that.
Even though they will still be working at McDonald's for the sake of them living.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're only working 1 hour a week for us because we're
Yeah.
gonna just what are our operations? It's just a joke, right?
Yeah.
So then they're gonna go and they're gonna
10 hours a week of in-depth consulting. A lot of meetings.
Sure.
All we need is for 1 month someone to edit a stupid video for us, or for 1 month someone it will take maybe an hour or 2 of their time to be like, hey, I know a friend that can show their cabin and you guys can make an ass out of yourselves. Cool, but we can give them real things if they want it, so they can actually BS the resume with value.
It wouldn't be BS. It would be legit.
It would be legit.
It's
just
legitimate bullshit.
It's legitimate bullshit.
It is legitimate bullshit.
I mean, how much work do you really do that's novel on a yearly basis? And if you're lucky, maybe 1 or 2 elements. But then the thing is, we will give them those elements within the first few weeks. But then they're on our company on paper for a year, so that pretty much kind of squares that peg. All right. So phase 2, our first wave gets out. So that's phase 2.
No, phase 1 is first wave.
No, phase 1 is actually getting them here, doing our hobbies,
phase 2 is sending
them out. So any questions so far before I get to phase 3?
I want phase 3.
All right.
Profit.
Phase 3. Now that we have the people that are out, and we're sending the second wave out as well, and hopefully daisy chains with the people of the first wave, we get the third wave in, and at this point is looking actually like we're bullshitting better. So for like the psychology people, we are asking the first wave, what is your company actually looking at for what they hire? What do you guys really do? Oh, you guys do that? Cool. We'll take those elements and we'll fit phase 3 so they're better armed, right? So they're better armed at bullshitting and they understand the lingo. During the time, they'll believe it more. And then, of course, since we know these people, they're not assholes, we're all just having a good time trying to reenact the show Raiders of the Lost Ark for 10 seconds. And they're like, that's our episode today, and whatever, or IO Productions. Some stupid idea that we love. And then they get the experience of saying, hey, look, I handle logistics for this operation, and they had to do the timetables and had to organize and scout and blah, 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 or I had to do a full psychological analysis of this person, or I did the statistics about crunching the data for the set of profiles.
They went to college, they know how to bullshit.
They know how to bullshit. Right? No, they don't. The problem with college kids today is that we are also teaching them bullshit production. Like, we're teaching them from the first wave what they're supposed to say, and the second wave is now out there to give us more, and now we're sending the first. So this is year 3 first. This is a year 3, phase 3 of what we're doing, and we're getting better at it now. Because
can we pause the recording for one more time?
Okay, sure.
Great conversation.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I wrote that down in the meeting minutes. Thanks, Micah. So why is phase 3 any different than phase 2? It's because now phase 3, we actually have to dissolve the PG&E company. We have to take them out now. Like, sorry, PG&E.
So we make the PE&G company?
We make the PE&G company because we're going to have to say that sadly, this company had to dissolve due to restructuring an organization and went a different way. So all those people in phase 1 don't give a fuck. Because they already have 2 years into the other company. And no one is ever going to know. So it just disappears. All phone calls will just be, this phone call is disconnected. And all the computer scientist nerds we hired are going to make phase 2, like our phase 2 company. Like those people have a year in, but that's still good. A year in, that's not too bad because they're in a year in of the new company. They're going to do well there. Our phase 3 people are going to be in a brand new company, but they're better fucking armed and bullshit on a new... like up and starting venture capitalist. Again, we make zero fucking dollars.
So IO Productions is now going into a new cooperation agreement with PEG LLC.
Yes, right. So the idea is that you have to kill your previous company because otherwise too many people are going to be like, what the fuck is that company? Oh, they were a young up and start company, but 90% of them die anyway. Oh, okay. Startups. All right, whatever. So we make a new startup. So that's phase 3. Any questions? Because we have phase 4.
What happens with IO? I assume that this repeats itself. If IO right, but if IO Productions is always a linchpin, is that not then going to be the Jenga piece that crumbles this whole tower?
No, because IO
Productions is simply an entity that is trying to work with the best young brain trusts that are available, and whatever conglomerate may be accumulating all of these young talents. We will exploit. Sorry, we will partner with.
Yeah, IO is kind of like the parent company, and the subsidiary companies like PE&G and PEG LLC and PEG LLC, the sequel Inc. Like they're just shadow companies. They would come and disappear, and all the sins that had occurred would disappear with them. Just kind of like how the Sadler family is doing with the whole, opioid crisis. Like, they went ahead and made a fake... they bankrupt their primary company before putting out billions away from that. Mm-hmm. And then now that bankrupt company is going to just die with the sins.
So right? It's like Google making Alphabet. Yep. It's Facebook making Meta.
Yep. So that's what... again, we're using capitalism to fuck capitalism. Like, we're judoing their own systems in which they hurt us workers against them. And because we're we're not college kids anymore, but since recently graduated college kids are smarter than us, they will understand that this is a very, very simple but effective way to fight back for our hobbies because they're fucking hilarious.
I want to hear phase 4.
What
this
final question? What's our end step?
What's
the end game?
The end game.
Pause it for a second.
All right, the real reason. Okay, I gotta stop recording.
Anyway,
see, guys, that's the end game.
Okay, all right,
yeah. All right. Okay, so that's phase 3. Any questions?
Please continue to phase 4.
Okay,
CEO.
phase 4 of this is that we made a new company, like another PEG.
Yep, PEG LLC.
PEG LLC.
Square peg.
We already had multiple waves of networks that we sent out, right? So now all we get to do is the people that we get back in, we keep on trying to find new disciplines for more bullshit IO productions. Again, not to make money, but just to amuse ourselves. So like I said engineers because that's all I know. But engineers are kind of boring. And so I said, well, psychologists we'll need for this show. But what if we had more harebrained ideas that needed, I don't know, a sociologist or an economist or plumbers. But in the case of like these are college kids that just need a foot in the door, like what other degrees can we just have fun with that can help them too? Because again, this whole thing is charity in the real sense, not the fake one. Arts,
electrical engineering.
Although fuck those guys, they're in demand. But yes, sure, fine, why not? Let's get them in.
We have to get some drag somewhere.
Well, yeah, someone has to program our stupid audio thing that just curses out.
Somebody has to realize they're not actually an engineer, just turn to electrician because some lights get very blinky around.
Definitely chemists.
Biologists.
Biologists, yep. That would be some interesting experiments for our amusement.
Yes,
physicists.
So okay.
Egg drop from a.
Yeah.
We're trying
very important experiments.
Egg drop from the IDS building?
Yeah.
Okay, so our
Irritable
phase 4 is that our goofy side, hobby plan. It gets a little bit more elaborate because we want the wave 4 people to be more bullshit ready. But this time, we're branching out of disciplines that we know and more avant-garde people, I don't know, music majors. But we want
theater majors, get into commercials.
Right, but we want to include them because we're a charity. Like we want to help people get the foot in the door for this fake real company. So okay.
Wait, why would we not have commercials built into our IO productions?
No, we never will have
commercials.
Okay, yeah, commercials with bunny ears. Yes. Yeah. So we're gonna widen our sphere, right? We're gonna still talk to our previous waves of the first, second, and third waves to get more real-time industry feedback so we can arm our bullshit.
Are we going to have annual meetings with our alumni?
Sure, why? Yeah, why not? We'll give them whatever foods. Again,
just rent out a banquet hall at a Best Western somewhere.
Again, this is just for fun. How much would that be? 7 bananas worth? I don't know. So
maybe 10 bananas.
Banana for scale.
But the idea is that it's about the same cost of going golfing all year round, right? This is just play money for us, but it could really help out real people because they need the fucking bullshit experience in a fucking bullshit company to get into a real bullshit company to make real money. We'll never ask for.
God damn it.
So we're building a house of cards on top of a house of cards.
No, because we're not actually ever needing to produce anything. Our house of cards is just a house. That's just bullshit.
Our house of cards is a smaller house of cards next to the giant house of cards.
No,
that could fall at any time.
A house of cards implies that the shoe will drop or something, or the cards will fold, and we're exposed. But if we're exposed, nobody gives a shit because what are we exposing of?
So
our hobby,
our legitimate.
Our 5 phases are a very stable single level house of cards.
Basically, they're just a deck of cards all smeared on the fucking carpet, and if someone says, "Look at that, it collapsed," that's the point, genius. Of course, you can clearly we're playing the game.
Okay, all right. So we're just playing 52 card pickup.
Yep, and then someone says, "Well, we don't trust that company."
Playing 52 cards.
Again, we're so small outfit. No one's gonna say something like, "Oh, PEGGE LLC." That's no, because the startups just come and go. So who cares, right? And who's gonna give a shit that these people? Who are we conning here? We're conning a system that requires 5 years of experience language of a program that's only 1 year old. We're fighting back against bullshit requirements that are completely arbitrary for some bullshit reason that no one even gives two rats' asses about because apparently it looked nice in some spreadsheet some asshole thought of who's a boomer. That's basically it.
Yeah.
One more pause in the recording. So you see the point I was making.
Yeah, okay,
right?
that's fair. Okay, all right. So
it was something that we just needed to hammer out. Okay,
all right. So then, thanks for that. Sorry, back online here now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
From that short break.
I hate you guys so much.
So you guys ready to hear phase 5?
Yes.
All right. So I know you guys have no questions about the first 4 phases.
World domination?
Phase 5 is that we get rid of IO Productions, the parent company.
Baby.
Yep. And we get rid of all of the shadow companies we make. And now we make a real company. Because by this time, we'd have so much fucking experience in bullshit that we can actually have... it doesn't have to be a real. It's still
BSC LLC.
It's still a bullshit fake company. That's the mission motto. The mission motto is that we're going to be a bullshit fake company forever, a fake real company. But we have to get rid of the parent one because we just got to cover our tracks. So we make another one called IOC Productions Squared Limited, right? And then we go ahead unlimited.
Get
Yep.
out of here.
And then we just make more shadow companies.
Kind of limited.
And now the people who are wave 3 and 4, they're protected now because no one's going to give their previous.
And phase
people
1 and 2 are like board of directors.
Yeah, basically they're going to be senior, or at least mid-ranking people now in their specialist field.
Oh, come on, board members? That's a good thing to put on a resume if they're 6-7 years into their field.
No, I mean if you're an engineer in about 10 years of your field, you should be a senior or a principal engineer.
Okay.
So it's like, at that time, they're probably level 2 or whatever. And again, I don't know what it is for everyone else, but I'm sure they'll be fine. Again, we don't ask anyone for money because fuck them. This is just for hilarious experiments like, can you outrun a train? Or something stupid like, I don't know. Like, I'm sure we'll have plenty of stupid video ideas that we can have our wonderful waves of college kids get real experience quickly so that they can bullshit on their resume. Again, that's the whole mission statement there.
This may be giving up the goat, but I don't know if there's been a good Mythbusters clone since then.
Correct.
Very good basis
Yes.
just to try stupid things with people in actual professions.
But I like the idea that Sarah has about going to homes and doing homology.
Oh, yeah. That all falls under the umbrella of IOPEG LLC.
Yep. So more ideas from these podcast ideas like that we can just go ahead and shoot on site. And so then by that time, we would actually have a sizable network of people that we're trying to help to overturn the stupid-ass system until people realize what we're doing, and then they're going to have a direct conversation generally that says, wait a minute, why is that so bad? The whole system is fucking bullshit anyway, that you need to have $100,000 in debt just for a 4-year degree that doesn't mean fucking bullshit for a job that anyone can do just out of high school. And then...
that you aren't even getting hired for because you don't have the experience for.
Yep. So then we'll just keep on doing this, and then I would say that by the time we're at phase, I don't know, I mentioned 5 because you said you wanted to make money. Like, at this point...
I assume phase 5 is just repeat.
Phase 5 is repeat.
Expand and repeat.
Expand and repeat. And at this point, we would...
regional?
We could...
IO Europe?
Our fucking shenanigans get more complicated. And we can just enjoy our fucking crazy-ass hobby that way.
So I will say, one thing we may actually have to tamp down on is a legal retainer. Because shit may get complicated.
Yeah. I think around that phase 5...
phase 4. Yeah,
phase 4, phase 5. We're going to actually have to think about this legally speaking.
But also, we could probably seed some, lawyers who don't want to try and be a Chief Justice.
Well, I just
think... who will be public defendants.
We can just hire people that are going to be pre-law.
Yeah.
And so they can say that in their resume that they worked in the capacity of helping us understand these stupid-ass legal documents to continue this charity case.
Like media law?
Mm-hmm. Right? Anyway, we just get an unlimited tap of people that just want to fight against a stupid bullshit meritocracy with bunny ears. And we also get to do something we like. So that isn't obvious that somebody should have already done this by now. Somebody should already make a fake real company and hook up their friends. Like, I'm surprised it hasn't already happened.
I'm sure it has.
I'm sure it
has. Actually.
Yeah.
Not with
we just don't hear about it.
No,
right, because they're so good.
But not with this mission plan. You see it for exploitive capitalistic means.
I see it the other way around.
Again,
sure.
Alphabet, Meta. Those are 2 clear examples of them giving legal coverage.
Yep. Sadler Company.
Sackler.
Sackler, yeah, sorry. The Sackler ones did it, but they did it in the $1 billion level.
I mean, even the Waltons have a lot of legal... The Waltons, McDonald's, like, they all have a huge legal buffer from their liability.
Right. I mean, they're out, like, some of these companies are in Ireland or in other places that are tax havens or Bermuda or...
One question. Does this recording make all of what we're talking about illegal?
Oh, I mean, maybe this whole conversation...
Sorry, all of this was hypothetically speaking.
Yeah, sorry, all of this... Well, that's
we didn't preface that beforehand, but everything in the past episode has been completely... Hold on, can we pause it for a second?
Okay.
Absolutely hypothetical is what the stance we're taking as IAO Productions.
Isn't it obvious that this is definitely hypothetical?
Well, I painted the story... Thank you, Micah, for giving me these following words from our time off. I painted this elaborate story to illustrate a point that if I thought of it, it already has happened. Isn't it obvious that this has already happened?
I mean, isn't it obvious? Already gives us a legal claim of hypotheticals anyway, because we're not talking about anything that actually happens. It's only a personal
but it's very possible that this has already.
Oh, it absolutely has.
Yes.
Like, basically,
we know shell companies are like, well, yeah, of course, shell companies.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't know what those shell companies did. It was probably something along these lines. No. This seems way better than like shell companies to cover liabilities over like someone who died because
like
there was
this
some
one at least. There's
company.
no actual profit. Our gain is just our amusement.
No,
whereas
no. Our gain is not amusement. That's our benefit. Our profit is our amusement.
Yep, that's right.
Pretty much what I said.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Well, okay, profit.
Why are you guys such assholes of fucking mansplaining the same fucking thing? Anyway, whatever. I'm over it. It's fine.
Sorry, Sarah.
It's fine. I'm not mad.
Oh no,
I'm not mad.
Crushing the can.
As soon as I started that sentence, I saw where it was going with the predictive text in my head, and I'm like, oh, this is not going to end well.
No.
The gain is...
I apologize.
Thank you.
I'm not going to apologize, Sarah, because the whole point of this isn't... I joke that it's for our amusement, that's our gain, right? And that I joke that it's because I want to make silly hobbies come real because we don't have the energy to do it. But for a good cause, I think I would actually try. But the reason why I really hope someone who listens to this podcast would do it, not that you should, legally speaking, but if you could pull this off legally, don't tell us. The reason why is because the real gain for me is that I really hate our interviewing system with a fucking passion. It's like a spite engine. I mentioned this before. Yeah. Like, I'm selling this like, oh, but we'll have a fun time doing this. Like, that is just the byproduct of it. The real motivation I have is fucking pure rage, anger at how companies just fuck us around and there's nothing we can do to fight back. Like, this is why I am motivated to fuck with them by saying we should do the same fucking dirty tricks back. And who's going to stop us?
Now, CEO, CFO, president?
Ha! Hilarious.
Well, I take the flack if anything goes wrong.
No.
The thing though, Micah, is that for us to make this thing reasonably, like, real, is that we would never be able to actually entertain the byproduct of... Oh, sorry, not the by... Because you said our gain was amusement, and I lied. It isn't. The byproduct is helping people who are fucking trapped with tons of fucking student debt.
No, that's our gain.
Get a job.
Our byproduct is entertainment.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say. Our profit is other people living a good life that they were promised, but they got fucked over.
Well, we're also networking, so there is that.
Yeah, everything else is just cherry on the top.
There's nothing not to be gained by having friends and good companies, across the pond or whatever. Like, if you help them get hired with their experience,
right?
Like, that person, right?
Yes, I mean that is again the cherry on the top for me. Like, yes, and we could use that to funnel more phases. Mm-hmm. And there's like going to be the final phase. This is not even my final phase.
Down with capitalism. Yeah.
But there one is. For that would be to be like, well,
but that's where me as president, I get to be that subversive.
Yeah.
And my goal is to overthrow capitalism. Your goal is altruistic, to help people who
no such thing.
are being betrayed by the system they bought into. and
they were born into.
You're along for the ride.
You're along for the hobbies.
I'm in it.
Well, you're a creative director.
Observe.
So.
You're gonna come up with
here to watch.
You have to come up with the production ideas for us to actually make a project where people can get the experience. With which
homology is our best bet.
That is
probably is.
We're not going to be able to get enough people power to do our what do you call it? Testy town.
Yeah.
If we partner with the university,
if we make PEG to get a pilot run of Testy Town, I will die a happy man.
But I do think luck compounds, and I do think that, like you mentioned, Sarah, the more we can network, the better off we would be. But that's not my game. I really want people to just have a good life, and I feel like there's so many fucking toll booths now. Mm-hmm. Every single gate or path that makes people live a modicum of a middle-class lifestyle has guards and toll booths there. And it doesn't, question. At least in the States.
How long do you feel that system is going to last where this is a viable option to try and upset the system that's already in place?
I imagine that if we were successful, that this is phase 10 here, I'm not going to go through all of them, is that people will steal our formula because they're assholes. And I'm going to be very angry at them. Like, how dare you? You stole this idea from IIO Productions, the first one that went down under. But how dare you take this on your own and make your own company and do this? And then I would be secretly both pleased but also very scared.
Depends. Are they hiring assholes?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Like,
they're not in it for the amusement or the hoping for a better.
Yeah, they're in it for capitalistic gains.
Yeah, yes, they're in it to just network and to just get the kickbacks. And,
right.
Yeah.
And so that would be like, wow, we created this terrible, like we created this wonderful thing, this tool that people can use.
Best intentions.
Yep. And I could see that being very.
I know I said last time was the last pause, but can we pause the podcast just one more time? Okay, I think after that discussion, we can wrap this up.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we were there. So, thank you, Phil. It's a great idea.
Thank you, Micah.
I'm sorry, Sarah.
Hypothetically.
No, actually.
Okay.
Hypothetically, Sarah? Hypothetically. Sorry. Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom. Fuck you, Micah.
I almost got to an hour, but, thanks for cutting me off, guys. I couldn't say any more. Bye.